Let me just tell you something. Now that I'm living on a few acres, takes a little bit of work keeping up with the property. And I'm just talking about mowing the yard. I nailed, absolutely destroyed a couple of sprinklers today. So bad that I didn't even know what in the heck kind of sprinkler was in there on one of them. Other than there's now a hole in the ground and a piece of a outer casing that I don't know what. Could have been anything. And I'm looking at the rest of the sprinklers all around there. And they're these Rainbird 5000 models. But I'm like, you know, that fitting down there looks like it's 1/2 inch, not 3/4. So I pull one up. And one of the other ones I damaged, which I only skimmed a little bit off the top, kind of like my head. And so I'm like, well, let me run to Lowe's. I finally got my entire fence line, that fiber optic cable I was telling you about, ran all the way, PVC, you know, electrical type PVC, the gray stuff, just 1/2 inch because I only needed to put that wire in there, all the way to the back of this building. Finished it up today finally. I go to Lowe's and I'm like, I only need 3 more pieces, sections, 10-foot sections of this pipe. So Nicole's hungry, my daughter. Let's go. Go over to Lowe's. We get something to eat first. Then we go to Lowe's, get a few little things. And I'm sitting over there. And I see a Husqvarna. Now mind you, I'm on a 42-inch. Was that? I want to say, was it a Troy built? Toro. I think it's a Toro. The one I got, it's like $1,500. 42-inch, 0 turn. Put new blades on it. Runs great. Runs like a champ. Man, you can't beat that. But when you're mowing a little bit of acreage, man, 42 is a little small. You know what I mean? But I was like, you know, I got it the day we were moving out. It was perfectly timed. You know what I mean? Like, or the day before we were moving. Such a perfect time. But anyways, I'm over at Lowe's. And, you know, I was going to do this video on Zero Hedge's draft bill, the lawmakers' draft bill protecting cryptocurrencies from government interference. But I'm just going to kind of give you guys, you know, I have people email me, hey, what's going on at the house? How's everything going? You know, so I just feel like, maybe, you know what, maybe I'll just do a quick video on the house. Just what I've been doing lately, you know what I mean? And ultimately, I'd like to give you a few little pictures, maybe a little bit of videos, but I want to be very careful of what I show and things like that. The haters will be all over me. And I don't want these bozos trying to figure out specifically where I live, you know what I mean? But I get a lot of people, hey, you know, show us the new place, man. If, you know, and I appreciate that because a lot of, you know, it comes from like friendliness, you know, like, oh, check, we want to see what you got, man. Thanks, you know, show us. But I'll get to that point a little bit, you know, a little later on, you know, as in a little ways out from now, from today, you know, like I'm not sure when, but sometime out in the future. But anyway, you know, little update. So I'm at Lowe's. Got my 3 pipes and we're leaving. I check out and I'm like, hey, by the way, I saw a Husqvarna mower over there you got. Looked like they only had one of them. 54-inch deck, you know, instead of a 42. Man, it's only like $2,900 and $100 off. So I'm like, okay. So I said, by the way, if somebody buys one of these, do you guys deliver them? He's like, absolutely. So I'm leaving out in the store, putting the stuff in the car, you know, pipes hanging out of my back window. And because I took my car, then I was realizing, you know, I probably should have took the minivan, but we were already on down the road. So I'm like, well, we'll make it work. It only stuck out about 1.5 feet, no big deal. So I'm going to the car and I'm like, you know, maybe I should go get that thing. Something was telling me, you know what, man, that's a pretty good deal. So I go back in. He's like, yeah, that's actually the last model of that kind. There's like a newer model. It's like, you know, $4,000 something, or basically like $399.99 or whatever. You know, $4,000. And I'm like, man, I'm only $2,900. The only real difference is the other one has a 25 horsepower motor. This one has 23. I think the one I'm sitting on now has either 22 or 23. So I'm like, man, that's good. Plus $100 off. Went and pulled the trigger on it. And so I get home, running the pipe, getting it, you know, finishing up what I got back here. I'm looking at it. I'm like, son of a biscuit. I need about 3/4 worth of a pipe. I'm freaking short. What's the old rule of thumb, especially when you go to Lowe's or one of those places? You're getting either cable, wiring, pipe. Always get extra. Man, always get an extra piece. And while I was sitting there and pulling out 3 of them, I said to myself, maybe I should get just one more. Oh, I'm not going to need it. Where am I going to just lay it up on the rafters or something? It's electrical 1/2 inch. I'm never going to use that again. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll take the 3. Damn it, I need another one. Son of a gun. So anyways, got it all fixed up. Got it all the way around the house. It's not buried or anything, or around this little building. It's not buried, but it's on the bottom of the fence line. It's good. And I've got the coax cable also ran with it, so I'll just kind of tie strap it. It's able to be buried. The coax, you know, TV coax. And I started to think, well, maybe I could run it with it, but I'd already buried a piece over by where the pool is. I'm like, I'd have to unbury the cable and feed it. Nah, it's out. It's buried. The cable is buriable or whatever. So it's whatever. I'm burying it with it. I got that all fixed up. We're gonna be closing, I think, very soon this week. Literally in like a day or 2 from now, I'll pull the final bank statements. Because remember when I transferred the money that when I told you I sold Veritasium to come up with this nice down payment or whatever for this house that I needed in order to get the thing. The mortgage guy kept telling me, he's like, well, we have to see 60 days worth of bank statements that do not show any deposits like that. It just needs to show like the money's been there, and we need minimum of 60 days, which is fine. But if we take your bank statements now, it's going to show this deposit in your checking, and that's not, you know, we can't do that. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right, well, that was like June 20 something, 21st or something like that when I did that transfer. So we had already scheduled to be closing like in a month from now, a little over a month from now, actually. Like late December or September, or maybe it was like the first week of October or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I've already paid, because the guy was like, can you move in and rent for us from me for like a couple months? You know, I don't want to sit on the house and wait, you know, 70 days or something for you to be able to close. And we were like, no problem. We'll leave the old house and came here, which basically we've been renting this place, and then we supposed to close in a little more than a month from now. But again, I'm doing the calculation. I'm like, well, wait a minute. 60 days, June 21st or whatever, July 21st, that's 1 month. August 21st, that's 2 months, that's 60 days. So roughly around the 22nd, 23rd, man, that's 60 days. It won't show the deposit. Hell, we could get this done quickly. They'll do the final, you know, credit check as they always do, you know, the basic one. And I'm trying to get this thing closed, like closed fast. Get me in here, let me sign, so I can get on with some projects. You know, Nicole wants to paint her room, can't paint the room. We don't own the house yet. Nope, gotta leave it alone. You know, I've got this place which I've kind of showed you, which matter of fact, if you just want to see a peek again, because some people may not, I'll just kind of show this to you real quick. Let's see. Nope, hang on. I want to just get rid of the key, the green key or whatever, keying it out. All right. Color, none. All right, I'm just gonna grab this thing. This is basically my green screen. This thing, it still needs to have, I mean, you see freaking cobwebs up there in the corner. It still needs, honestly, these boards need to come off. It's just board. This is the wall. There's my little lights and stuff. It clearly needs a ceiling as well, but there's nothing behind the boards. There's, you know, no insulation. The funny thing is, I'll come out here middle of the day, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, doesn't matter. Open the door up. I don't have the air running in here, which I've got a window unit for the time being. And it's like, you know, it's really not that bad in here. Like, shockingly, how the heck is that possible with no insulation in a roof, basically, that doesn't even have insulation or even a ceiling on it? But here's kind of what the rest of it looks like. The door. Got some salt for the water softener. my printer, some stuff. I've been doing some work in here, like outside for the pipe. Those are actually some big Wi-Fi antennas. And boy, oh boy, do I have some cool thing to do with that in my quadcopter once I own the place. Not going to discuss that now. So there's these two bay doors. That wall, there's not even a wall over there or over there. The wall stops right there. You can see it right behind the light, and then there's just nothing but besides the outside wall. So anyways, yeah, you see I got some work to do here. Not that I'm the kind of guy that knows how to do this crap, to be honest with you. I'm a IT guy and stuff. I'm not Mr. Handyman. I just don't know that stuff. So one of my boss's friend is expert handyman, everything. And he's ultimately going to come over here and give me kind of a quote and, you know, see what it would cost. And I probably will help him, you know, as his helper. But again, I got all these ideas. And I want to close that wall. As a matter of fact, let me show you this. Let me go back. I forgot. Back to that. Turn that off. See where those little cabinets are? Basically, right where those cabinets are, right in the center of those two doors. You look up at the rafter or whatever, the little board or whatever. I want to wall that in all the way across to basically where the wall ends, which is like right there above that tip of the light thing. It's you can see it basically where the board is, you know, where the board ends, where they stop putting them up. So that's what I'd really like to do. Put this wall up over there, put the ceiling up, put a door so that I could enter the garage side or those bay doors in case, you know, one of these days, you know, maybe this new zero turn or whatever I have to put over here, or if I end up selling the other one. I was actually thinking of keeping both. Like, you know what? That one's a little bit smaller and my kids are, you know, almost 12. One of them is really good with, you know, things, physical and whatever. And, you know, you fall off the seat of the thing turns off immediately. And this is very flat over here. It's very simple. There's no way she could flip or, you know what I mean? It's just not possible. And I thought, well, maybe she can cut one of the yards while I cut, you know, I'll do the front and you start on the back and then I'll meet you, or I'll do the back, you start on the front, that kind of thing. My wife's like, well, I don't know, you know, she's still young. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. We'll think about it, you know. But now that I got a much bigger one coming, which should be here Wednesday, I don't see that being too big of a deal. But the thing is, you know, we've got these plants and these trees, and I'm like, man, how the hell am I going to keep up with all this stuff? Got to spray for the weeds and this and that, and you know, I'm trying to get as close as I can to the edge where the like that little, I don't even know what they call this stuff. It's like, it looks like little pieces of tree bark or something, like you plant it around your beds, plant beds. And you get close to it with the lawnmower, it sucks that stuff up. So I'm like sucking all that. I'm trying to get as close as I can so I can get to the grass, you know, without going too far over. You know, I nailed that sprinkler, which I went and got one. And I said, you know what, I'm getting a smaller one too, because I think that one's smaller. And it was, and it fit right on there, so that's good. But I'm like, man, there's all this stuff that I'm not used to doing. This thing has like freaking, I don't even know how many sprinkler zones. I was looking the other day because I was on the you know, the North 40, if you will, back here by my little spot. And I've noticed a few times when I mowed the yard, I was like, there's a spot out here where there's kind of a little bit of a hole and a sprinkler head just sitting there, not even attached. And I'm thinking maybe it came out or whatever, or it's broken. So I'm like, all right, well, next time I mow the yard, I'll figure out where it is, because I don't remember. It was somewhere by these two trees. I found it. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go turn the sprinklers on. So I set them on, you know, a test mode or whatever, and it asked you 1 minute or 2 minute or 3 minute per zone, I guess. So I had it set for 2 minutes, waiting and noticing, oh, I thought that was one zone. No, there's 3 zones in that one area. Oh, okay, interesting. Finally get over to here where this other zone is. Oh, okay, that's the one. I'm standing over the sprinkler. There's nothing there. There's a little bit of water in the pipe as they were coming on. I could see a little bit of water in the pipe. But it wasn't even flowing out, and there's nothing blocking it. I could stick my finger right, which I did, stuck my finger right in there. I was like, yeah, there's definitely water in here. Nothing was really coming out. So I don't know if the pipe broke somewhere down the line a long time ago and they just don't use it anymore, or they ran another pipe somewhere. I really don't know. But I was able to take that sprinkler and replace one of the ones I destroyed today, with that mower, but it wouldn't fit on the other one. So I'm like, oh, I think this is too big. It was. I needed a 1/2-inch fitting type of sprinkler. But I got freaking sprinklers in the front, on the sides, and I'm like, what in the hell? You know, I'm a freaking city boy living in the, you know, the typical developments where your neighbor's right next to each other. Your yard is almost non-existent. You might have, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 sprinklers total, you know, depending on how big your house or yard is. Even if you even have sprinklers. The first house we had didn't even have any. And then I moved to this house, and I can't even count how many freaking sprinklers are out here. But I will tell you something that's cool. On this road, it's kind of a main road out here. And we went down it the other way, good ways, because we were going to this organic farm. Right now, it's kind of a co-op area, or co-op type of a farm where they don't have everything that they produce there, just some stuff they produce there. They're trying to get that way where they can. They've got the aquaponics with the fish feeding the plants and stuff in this little room. And they're like, oh, this. He's like, we got a big one over here. He's like, let me show you the one over next door. He's like, come with me. So we went over there, and I brought the guy and the gal I told you about that came over this weekend, Saturday, that we had a great time with. They came with us. We went over there, and they've got this thing called a Jamaican cherry tree, and it produces these little balls, if you will. There's no seed or nothing in them. It grows year-round, constantly. It's producing year-round. I'm like, oh, that's my kind of plant. This thing grows in Florida? Of course, yep. Wow. So we went and picked up one of those, little small one in a container, which we're going to plant out here. My wife's like, oh, can you knock down that, you know, can you cut down that bad tree in the back, which we have a lime tree. And I didn't realize, assuming this is a lime tree, it sure looks like a lime tree, and it's got little, what looks like limes. You scratch and sniff the leaves, you know, and it smells like lime. And they're growing, but they're super green right now, which means it could be a lemon technically, but it smells like a lime. Next to it's an even bigger tree than that. It may have been a lemon or some kind of fruit tree. It's destroyed. It's just dead. And I'm like, I can't just like, she's like, can you just chop that down so we can put that one new tree we got, the Jamaican cherry tree? I'm like, yeah, I can, you know, mow it down with my chainsaw. I've got an electric chainsaw, actually. Had it for a long time. I actually get to put it to use out here. But I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, well, hold on. There's roots too. You know what I mean? You don't just chop it down and plant a tree. There's roots. I gotta really get this thing out of the damn ground. So I noticed a neighbor across the street had a little small tractor. I almost thought if I catch him one day, hey, can I pay you a couple bucks to just knock that thing down? A lot of times you hit it with the tractor, the whole tree will come down, roots will be sticking up. Get it out of here. You know what I mean? Then I can chop it up and, you know, get rid of it, burn it or whatever. Either that or I'll just go rent one a little small backhoe, like a real small one, at Lowe's or whatever. You see those at Lowe's or Home Depot, and just bring it back to the house for, you know, rent it for a day for a couple $100, that kind of thing. But I feel like if I do that, I want to use it. What else can I do with it? You know, and there's not really anything at the moment that I could kind of use it for. And I thought at one point, because I remember seeing this on one of these shows on TV, this guy goes out and like, these people live out in the middle of nowhere usually, whether it's right in the middle of the woods somewhere, like out, you know, really out in the country, or out in the desert somewhere, you know, and he'll come in and like one of the episodes, maybe a couple episodes actually, he dug like 6 foot down a couple trenches that went out, I'm not sure how far, I'm going to say maybe 50 feet and then back. So like a U shape, 50 out and then turn around and 50 back. And then he put like 14-inch or so, some kind of piping, like plastic, big fat piping. And it was like in a shed kind of a thing that I think were converting into an office or a small house or something, you know, something. And there's no air conditioner. So he used that. He said, well, you know, once you go down about 5-6 feet, the ground is, I forgot what the temperature was, 60 something, you know, degrees constantly once you get down that far. So he's like, we're just taking that temperature and it's going to surround the pipe, which is why we got to do kind of a long run. And so that way when we put the hot air through it and back out, you know, from the house or this building, it'll cool it. And sure enough, by the time they went out and did some work and did some stuff, and he's like, oh, let's go check on the house, the building or whatever. They went in, and it was like low 70s or something like that. I want to say like 74, 72, something like that. And, you know, hadn't even been that long. So I'm like, man, that's kind of cool. You don't even need a damn air conditioner. Now my problem here, I'll tell you, if I dig 6 feet down, and I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I know some places I can say I'm sure in Florida, I might be hitting the damn water table. Just depends on where you are. You could really hit it quickly in some spots in Florida. But I thought, man, that'd be kind of cool. But again, I can't be tearing up the wall, hooking this stuff up. Oh, by the way, you went to close, and man, this little issue happened. You can't close, and, you know, not that I think that's going to happen, but we don't own the damn house yet. So I've got all these ideas flying through my head, and I can't do hardly none of them. So I did realize I'm gonna run that fiber cable. I am doing that, and I'm gonna run also that coax because I already did that to begin with. And again, if it falls through by chance, and I'm gonna tell you there's slim to none chance of that happening, but I'm not digging any of this up. He just got himself some fiber ran out to this building, free of charge, Jason Ip4 style. And that would be the end of it. He can have it, you know. I'm not gonna rip it all out. That's not happening. It'd be more work to do that. But it's kind of cool when you have your own spot. I don't need much land. I don't think many people do, to where you really realize, you realize, man, we could put a giant garden over here or a greenhouse over there, put a fruit tree there, do this over there, got this big giant spot over here. And now my next debate is, do I put these solar panels on there's a detached 3-car garage, and the sun hits it nicely, actually, most of the day, both sides of the roof, typical pitched roof, and the sun actually hits it. But on the back side, I feel like I'd have to tilt the panels up on the bottom side a little bit, even though the sun's still hitting there. And then they're out of the way. They're not like on the property. But to go up there and mount them and all that stuff, these are pretty big panels too. This could be a little bit of work. Now you're drilling into the roof. What happens when it's time to repair the roof, replace the roof on that thing? We got to take the panels down. And I'm like, man, I got this land back here. I could build a little small structure, whether it's wood or pipe or whatever, that these things sit on. And then it's kind of ground level, although the next, because I'm going to do 2, one on top, one lower. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I've got 20 of these panels. So I'm measuring like, oh, that's kind of wide. Now, if I could go 3 high and do like 7, of course, 7 would be 21. But basically, I'd have 7, 7, and then 6, that kind of a thing. That would be quite a bit smaller, but again, I probably would need a ladder at some point, mounting these things or whatever. But again, I could go to Lowe's or Home Depot, rent. They've got the little cherry picker things you can rent. It's already on a trailer. Bring it home, rent it for a day, pick these things up, get a friend or something to help me. I'll pay him whatever, and set these things up and mount them. But then I'm like, oh yeah, but hold on. The garage did have 240 ran to it, 6-gauge wire, which would be perfect for this. I could mount it and then run it right to the garage for the inverter and then backfeed to the grid so I can have a minimal electric bill. But over here in the North 40 where this little building's at, there is not 240 out here. They ran 12-gauge wire times 2 actually. They ran 2 12-gauge wires. I don't know if it's, I want to say it's not even on the 2 different legs. So it's just 110 and 110 or 120 and 120 from the same side of the circuit or whatever phase. But they are separate technically, so that's kind of nice, but that ain't cutting it. So I've already determined, okay, I'm going to have to, disconnect at the main breaker, pull one of those wires all the way completely out, because it's in, it's got your hot, your neutral, and your ground in the wire. Take the whole thing out. That'll give me a little bit of room in the pipe. And then I'll have the other wire, again, hot, neutral, and ground sitting in there. I should be able to attach 6-gauge red wire, 6-gauge black wire, plus a little bit smaller neutral, like maybe an 8-gauge neutral, and then a 10-gauge green ground wire. Tape it real good, attach it to the other 12-gauge wire and then pull the whole thing back through the line. But I'm talking like probably a 200-foot run, roughly. But again, if I do that, now I've got some good power out in this building, and I really want to make this a crypto, Joe's Crypto Cave, and have a sweet little hangout spot, a couple little couches, recliners, big TV up here. That way when the fights, the MMA or whatever we want to watch, have the boys over, some friends. Hey man, let's go out here. You don't have to worry about making too much noise in the house, keeping people awake. So I'm like psyched up, man, about this, but I can't do anything till I close. However, the days are flying by. I'm hoping I can give them that bank statement thing, whatever, checking and savings, 60 days. All right, Joe, this looks good. We'll get back to you in a couple days. And then a couple days happens. And that was the other thing. The 4-point inspection showed the main breaker panel to the house on the outside, which happens to be in the pool area. You open it up, and it's missing the dead front cover, which means all the bare, not bare, but basically the wiring is sitting in there. You could literally stick your hand in there and shock the hell out of you, may kill you. But you do have to take the panel off and open it, of course. But that was marked on the 4-point. The guy's like, the insurance is not going to fly with it. You got to fix that, and you got to fix this, and little stuff. But I happen to know of an electrician who lived right by me at the old house, and he came over. He's like, man, I'll make one. I've done this before. I'll bring a piece of sheet metal. We'll mark it out, and we'll cut it. It doesn't have to be pretty, and it doesn't have to be like perfect. As long as it has it there, you're set. Sure enough, came over, nailed it, got it. Man, thanks a lot. And he's like, well, I'm not going to charge you nothing, man. You've helped me with my computer a lot. And matter of fact, I need something on it. I need to see if you can get this stuff off this hard drive for me. No problem. Bring it by my job on your way to work or whatever. I'll take it home or do whatever, get it and handle business. That's cool too, because I didn't have to come out any out of pocket money for that. But not that I'm not willing to. I'll pay a person for their services, of course. But anyways, all of this stuff's taken care of. I reached back out to the inspector after reaching out to him another time to ask him to change something that we got fixed or got certified that the roof shingles meets FL whatever requirements, which was the insurance was asking for. And now I had to go back again. Okay, I fixed that, and I fixed that, and I fixed that. Can you do it again? And long story short, I said, you know what? I'm going to throw you $50 on PayPal, and for having to go back again. Appreciate your work. He said, man, I'll have this out to you Monday. So today, as you're watching this video, is Monday. I should have that here. Forward that to the insurance guy along with the copy to the mortgage guy to show them, hey, we're good. Then they can lock in the quote or whatever, which a couple of those things literally was the difference between $1,000 a year, like $3,500 insurance or $2,500 a year insurance. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this stuff fixed. I mean, it need to be fixed anyways. So the other thing is I'm fixing this stuff even though we haven't closed yet. And I'm thinking, imagine if this doesn't close and I hook this guy's, this guy's house up for him so that the next person can come right in and, perfect inspection report, get this house. But again, I think that's a very, very slim to none chance that we don't get this house. Everything is lined up. The funds are perfect that they requested. Everything, I'm going to go out and get a new car on credit. He didn't go buy a boat or jet ski. Not happening. But I did think, man, I do have these 2 garage doors over here. The lake's not too awfully far from my house, so hook those babies up, drive down to the lake. Man, that would be cool. But we ain't there yet. And I got more important things to do than me playing games on jet skis and, boat. That's way down the line. I want to focus any extra money I've got, honestly, on cryptos. That's the dead, truth. And you're probably saying, well, why the hell did you just buy a $3,000 lawnmower? Because time is money, my friends, and the amount of time it's taking me to mow with this 42-incher versus what the 54-inch. And I actually went online to do a calculation. There's actually calculations you can do. How many acres do you have? How fast are you going? And what size, deck is it? 42-inch? Okay, it'll take you this long. You could mow this many acres. Of course, if it was a complete perfect square with nothing in the way, you could mow this many acres in an hour. Okay, well, what if I have a 60-inch? Whoa, holy crap, that's fast. Well, what if I have a 58-inch or 54-inch, 52-inch, 50-inch? Okay, still a good bit. Found the 54-inch. It was the last one they had on ever. Like, that's it. And so again, it was that thing where, you're feeling it, like instinct. Get this. You need this. It's going to help you a lot. Because I want to enjoy this house too. We went swimming like probably 2 times today. But I spent a good part of the day mowing all this up, tearing up 2 sprinklers, of course. Doing all this crap. And I'm like, man, I want to jump out there with the family. And I could hire my brother-in-law who does landscaping and that kind of thing. But I also want to have a $200 or whatever it ended up being a month, landscaping service charge when I can do it myself. And, you know, you weed whack a little bit. There's not a lot of weed whacking to do out here, actually. And I'm out here sweating like a pig. And I heard a couple people, Joe, you look like you lost some weight, man. I can see it in your face. I haven't weighed myself, but I can tell you the shorts I'm wearing right now, boy, did I used to wear these babies unbuttoned. Just a little too much squeezing going on the waist side. And now I actually had them buttoned today, fully. Had a couple little small tools, not heavy at all, in my pocket, 2 pockets. And they were pulling my pants down easy. I'm like, whoa. Holy crap, I can't remember the last time that happened. So what I'm trying to say is I would like to keep doing my own yard. But I don't want to spend half the damn day doing it either. So if I can fly through this thing quickly, you know, bigger mower, there's no reason why I can't sell that mower that I got for $1,500 and resell it again for $1,500, get my money right back out of it. And by the way, whoever buys it, J-Snip 4 style, you got yourself a set of brand new blades on there already. Free of charge, of course, because I needed them myself. But the other side of me was like, well, you know, the kids are getting older, the chores are picking up, you know. It's kind of fun riding a zero turn, if I don't mind saying so. It's kind of fun. And I thought, again, you know, 12 years old, it's about to be 12. It's not hard. There's nothing here where she could flip it or hit something. And it's flat. We're talking Florida. It is flatter than flat. Flatter than flat earth. Nonsense. Anyways, I'm sure some people are like, shut up, man. Where's the damn... You know, that's why I've dedicated this to just a little housing update. J-Snip 4, you know, the crypto ranch, if you will. And, yeah, so that's it. Because I've had people asking stuff, you know, and I felt like, what the hell? Give a little update. What am I doing? What have I accomplished? What have I gotten done? Even though the damn thing's not mine yet. I'm dying to sign off on this. Because once I sign my fat, ugly name on there, it's over. Nothing can happen now. It's mine. I just make my payments, of course. And that's it. And then I can start planting the trees and all that stuff. We can do the garden. I want to bring one of those small, I think even like Harbor Freight, one of these places, they have these little small sheds. They ship them to you. It's pretty much transparent. You build it pretty easily. I'm thinking, Evelyn, we can put something in there. I'm like thinking, well, we don't have to. So, you know, we did hydroponic gardening the one time. It was great. And we're on well water, which is way better than city water that we were using back then. Man, we got it here. Hey, yeah. So we could do that. I'm thinking we can get a second one if we want and do the fish farm thing. Matter of fact, they can tie into each other. Yeah, let's do that way, right? Like they did. So it's the hell with the stacker pot hydroponic system. Do the aquaponics like they do. They've got a full home setup. They had one little small thing and then like 4. And what they used was this little square like water totes. And they have like those metal bars all the way around them, like a big, you know what I'm talking about? They would cut those in half. And then you now have 2 basically because you took it in half and half. So you have 2. And that's where they would float the little things, stick the seeds in there, let it grow, whatever. And then you'd have, you know, like 20 somethings growing in one little thing or more. And the next one, and it's all you need to do is feed the fish. Just feed the fish. But I'm thinking over here with the lake not too far away and the birds that we see in the morning, and there's an owl and there's this beautiful, like, I don't know if it's a hawk or a something. And I was walking this little pond by our house too on the front side of it. And I was walking up there with the trash can. I came back on the grass side near where I destroyed the freaking one sprinkler. And I see this movement and right in the branch shake right in front of me. Literally, I could almost, I mean, if I had a little stick in my hand, I could have hit this damn bird. Not that I would want to do that, but I'm just telling you how close it was. And this thing took off. It was just beautiful. And it went right over to the woods next to us and just, you know, because I scared it away, you know, my big, ugly, bald face and head. Scared it, but I'm like, oh, wow, I almost walked right by it and it stayed. And then there was, man, I was going to work the other day. Just backed out of the garage, turned around to head out the driveway, and I see this big monster owl. And he's just sitting up there on this one tree that's kind of like, you know, kind of destroyed of a tree. It's not, you know, dead, if you will. Just hanging out, looking around. Now, what do they call those? A barn owl or what do they call it? The big old eye, you know, like the big old eyebrow things or whatever. Can't think of the name of it, but it was. I think it was one of those. Big old boy. I'm like, man. And it's kind of cool, man. We got butterflies every day. It's summertime. And there's butterflies every day. We're in the pool looking out. They're over there by the little spot, little bushes. Go outside the front. They're flying around there. This is awesome. I'm so glad to be away from the, you know, development stuff. You know, HOA, none of that crap either. I'm thinking this is what everybody needs. Everybody needs a little bit of their own piece of the pie, America. And I'm not talking a 1/10 of an acre, 1/8 of an acre, 1/5 of an acre. Here's your house. There you go. 2 stories, and you got your neighbors. You can throw a stick at them right next door. That's not. Those are like prison cells, and we're paying for it. You're paying to live in a prison. Of course, you could say the same here. You're paying too. I get it, but back in the Roman days, they used to give free housing. Now they got us to pay for everything, and we're still slaves. Isn't that amazing? So I'm done yapping. It's a long story, but it's a big old update on what the hell I'm doing here. Once I sign that paperwork, I'd like to show you some stuff that I end up doing, like film it. Remember, you ever watch Pastor Dowell's video? Sometimes he's out there on a backhoe, knocking something down, putting a building up. Now, I don't know how to do that crap, but I don't mind knocking a tree down or planting a bush or doing something and then showing you kind of like, oh, here's what we're going to do, and here's our greenhouse, or here's that, from time to time, that kind of stuff. That will be cool. Can't wait to do that stuff. Take care.